How we doing, everybody? Happy holidays, and we're going to talk about Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Force Awakens shirt. I had a Last Jedi shirt, which I had bought before the movie came out, which I threw away. So the good news, this is going to be a spoiler review because it's really hard to talk about this movie without going into spoilers. But overall, I have to say that I liked the film, and it had a ton of problems with it. But at least I didn't walk out of the theater wanting to punch somebody in the face. So anyway, I want to also start out by saying that Abrams had an impossible task ahead of him. I mean, he was just stuck in a very, very bad situation, and what he pulled out of this could have been far worse. So I think the majority of the problems with the movie were, well, the fact that there was no setup for this at all. That's problem number one. Problem number two is that this script needed another rewrite. It had a ton of holes in it and head scratchers because of the continuity and the speed of what he was trying to pull off. And the speed meaning that this could have been two films by itself, where we could have had character development, which we didn't have, and this was partially a redemption story, and we really didn't get what we should have out of it because it was rushed, and it was rushed because of the fact that Last Jedi didn't set anything up. So where Empire was the strongest Star Wars movie ever to date, and there isn't one person that would ever debate that. But Empire set up Jedi. Okay, even though Jedi was the weaker of the two films, Empire really strongly set up a foundation where Jedi, no matter what happened with Jedi, it was going to pull off, this ending, and we didn't get that here. We got a lot of stuff wrapped up, and a lot of stuff wrapped up generally well for what we had to work with. And that was the problem, is that there wasn't a whole lot to work with. So let me start out with what I liked, and then we'll get into what the problems were. Most of the scenes with the original cast, I generally liked. It was, because I think everybody was worried about the fact that the cast was coming back, and they're like, just stick them against the wall and shoot them all. Oh, there's Lando. He's gonna die. Oh, from the trailer, C-3PO's got red eyes. Oh, he's gonna die. He says goodbye to his friends, and all that. So everybody was gonna die. And then even in the film, it was red herringed that Chewie was dead. And everybody's like, oh well. But thankfully, none of those things happened. Lando was fine in it, his couple of scenes. Chewie didn't die. And neither did C-3PO. C-3PO was exactly as he was from the beginning to the end. So all that was thankfully so, and R2-D2 was as well. And of course, we knew that that Leia was going to die. It was going to happen one way or another. The fact that they had pulled scenes and kept her in there was great. And even the flashback scene where they made them younger, that was great too. I would have loved to have seen that movie. And I got to say that one of the best things for me was Leia's lightsaber. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I thought, in fact, if I'm going to buy anything from this movie, that's what it's going to be. I'm going to buy that saber. Although I have to say I was disappointed with the fact that they made it blue. It should have just been another color. Visually, it should have been a differentiation between the two, and of course, it would have been visually more stunning at the end for her to use two different colors, showing the two different sides of the Force, or the two different sides of the Skywalker lineage, etc. But with all that being said, and even Luke coming back, I love the fact that he retconned Luke not being this crazy old man kind of thing, and even the scene with Han was really good. I thought that scene was really good. So I also didn't see it coming about what he was going to have with Rey's background, but I really liked the fact that she was a Palpatine. I didn't see it coming. I liked it, and what I hated about it was the fact that it was such a great idea that we didn't get to see any of it prior. That was where Empire, the middle section, I'm going to call that the Empire section, where it was the middle film, should have gone. I would have loved to seen Rey go bad. And that would have been a redemption story for both Ben and for Rey. What a perfect trilogy that would have been. So we set up Rey in Force Awakens, and that's what I liked about Force Awakens. It was not a great movie. It was a mediocre film to the very least. But it set up these characters to see where it was going to go. And of course it didn't go anywhere in Last Jedi. Just stopped. But if we had gone and we had seen her go with him in Last Jedi, and we had Luke and Leia to come back and try to pull them back into the fold in the third movie, that would have been great, and we would have been able to see this Jedi side of Luke and this legend, and Leia, try to bring these kids back into the light side. How awesome would that have been? And we get to see this evil and the throne and all this shit. Oh, it would have been great. But instead we got, this rushed ending. And again, he tried to tie up as much as he could. He tried to answer questions. He really tried. I could see that he really tried. But his back was really against the wall. I love the fact, too, that he retconned the hyperdrive thing. He purposely put the hyperdrive skipping into the film just to give the middle finger to Rian Johnson in Last Jedi. Okay, that's not how it works. This is how it works. You can skip through that thing because he didn't kill the monster and everything else when he went right through it. So he just said that we're just going to retcon that. And I think, and I agree with everyone who said, yes, bring the Emperor back. And I'm going to bring this into the We're My Bad section. I agree with everything that everybody said. And everybody said, I don't think anybody said that they've hated this film. No, everybody's like, yeah, it was good, but it wasn't what it should have been. And I completely agree with all of that. And I think that everyone is just glad it's over. Bring in the new team. Bring in the Mandalorian guys, and let's just leave it at that. And it would be great, if Favreau and Filoni came in and were able to do another trilogy that didn't have anything. I think that's the thing. Nobody thought that the original series was great, like the 1, 2, 3 prequel things. I don't think anybody thought those things were good. It was fun to go back into the thing, but to the universe. None of that. I don't think anybody thought they were good. But they didn't mess with the original characters. And that's where this problem is. When you're dealing with the original characters and you just have them do things that are not in their character, you're going to get a shot to the face. And even this movie made $175 million this weekend. It's still like $50, $60 million less than Last Jedi because of the fact that they pissed the fans off. And that's why you have to be so careful in dealing with these, you know, these people that these characters that people grew up on and were childhood heroes, and that's like telling people that Santa Claus doesn't exist anymore when you're a child. You can't say, oh, by the way, Luke's an old drunk. It just doesn't happen. And that's why they've lost money. So hopefully now they'll get rid of Kathleen Kennedy at the forefront of this. And they already proved that Star Wars is not dead. It just needs to be redirected. And no pun intended that way, but yes, it has to be directed and written in a way that serves the world and serves the universe. And it's got to have somebody that knows that universe. And that's why The Mandalorian is getting such high praise. And I was surprised, too, that there was the audience was equal to male and female. Okay, so Star Wars is not just a man's thing, and even though it's got a female character in it, I'm not sure that's what's bringing the women into the film either. So, because Rey is, I think somebody described her as godlike in this thing, which I can see that. Especially when this is not built up with but one scene of her training and failing at that. And then by the end of the film, she's very godlike. So I agree with everybody that's ever said. But I got to say this, I liked it better than Endgame because I really hated Endgame. But yeah, but anyway, I liked the film. Let's go into the bad real quick. Poe, I think everybody liked Poe for the most part, but he didn't do anything for me. I like Oscar Isaac in certain films, but he didn't do anything for me throughout all three of these films. I liked Finn. I thought they should have done more with Finn. At least they did a little bit of something with him here, but nothing major. And then again, he's got this thing that he keeps wanting to tell Rey through the whole movie. I got something I got to tell you. I got something I got to, and then even brings up to Poe. And Poe's like, well, you got something better to do as they're getting ready to get shot. And he still doesn't say throughout the entire film what it was that he was looking to say. Was it the fact that he loved her? Was it and if that was the case, then it cheapened the Ben thing. That's why that should never have gone that far. They should have just given him another girlfriend because they were trying to connect the Rey Ben thing, Kylo Reylo thing, and I think that the Finn thing just got in the way. But if it wasn't that, was he trying to tell her that he was Force sensitive? Either way, maybe he was trying to tell both. Hey, I love you, and I'm Force sensitive, so we're really good together. Whatever. And thankfully, they just throw Rose in there just to be. Yeah, we don't want to throw her out completely. We'll just give her a couple of scenes. Also, I know they're trying to pull out the fact that she had a lot of anger, meaning Rey, and she also was, a Sith granddaughter. But as far as the Jedi is concerned, they never attack first. They are the peacekeeping side. It's always the Sith that attack first. It's the way it is. But if you look at every scene she's in, she's always like, ah! So she should have been the second one. But it was, even during their fights, Kylo/Ben never wanted to kill her. All right? That was never his plan. He wanted to turn her. He wanted her to be with him. But she was like, ah! Every time. And I would have thought that the fight, what a great background for that fight on the ship in the water. I'm sure that was very painful for them to actually shoot because of the fact that they had to be wet probably for a week straight. But that was not Duel of the Fates type of, which is, I think is going to probably go down as probably one of the best lightsaber fights ever. But it wasn't even close. And I thought with some of the flipping that they had her do, which was pretty good, they would have done a better fight scene between the two, and they didn't. And then they used Leia, who gave herself over to the Force or whatever, killed herself, basically, to stop him from killing Rey, which I don't think he was going to do anyway. But again, he should. Why didn't she just reach out with the Force to him? I mean, I don't. That's the other thing I don't like is the fact that they were able to take physical objects from one another, and he grabs the necklace off her or whatever, and he sees seeing where she is one thing, but to physically take something, then he takes the lightsaber from her. First of all, he should have been able to kick all their asses. This whole Knights of Ren thing. First of all, he probably trained portion of them. He knew everything about them. So he should have been able to kick their ass without even using a lightsaber. But once he has a lightsaber, then he can kick their ass. But otherwise, he was getting his ass kicked. I didn't buy that for a second. He could have just pushed them all away. So that was the other thing, is that now every Skywalker has given themselves to the Force for whatever reason, just killed themselves just for no reason. And I also didn't buy that Ben gave every bit of life force from himself to Rey. Just to the fact that he died. It was so funny in the theater. Now, when they were doing the test screen, they had to have this happen. Because everybody's like, they went and kissed, right? So everybody's been waiting for this kiss, like, for not everybody, but a lot of the females were for sure. I didn't give a shit either way. But they were, waiting for this kiss for 3 movies now. So they're like, kiss. Everybody's like, yay! And he dies. Aww. Literally, it was like a second later. It was like, yay! Aww. They should never have done that. And the test screening should have seen that. They should have kept Ben to be alive. They should have kept Leia alive. If they did it that far, they could have kept it to the end of the movie, because she was alive through 2/3 of it. And he should have been brought into the fold, just like at the end of Jedi, where Anakin was brought back into the fold as a Force ghost. Why couldn't he have been brought back into the Force without being dead? Into the fold. That's a redemption story, all the way through. You don't have to kill everybody off. And I think that's one of the big problems, and where people are saying, why has everybody got to die? So there's that. And why in every movie do we have to have a planet killer? Now it's little cannons attached to every Star Destroyer. And who knows that, of course, that's the other problem that people are having is Palpatine. So he's alive in a body when he had all the clones of Snoke. Why wasn't it just Snoke? I know JJ wanted to use the same actor. But if he was going to put his life force into something, why didn't he just put it into the clone? And that would have made sense why Snoke was there. And Snoke dying made no difference. It was because he had plenty of these things. He just kept jumping into them. But he could have said, well, the clone only gives me a certain amount of time in that body, and then it decomposes. And there's been plenty of times, even in the comics recently, Vader had to deal with a Sith life force. So just like everything else is alive, and all the people are kind of alive in the Force, the Sith also have that. And there's like a Sith temple where these guys all kind of hang out and all that stuff. But it's kind of a given that that his life force would have been around, and him jumping into clones would have made more sense, or even being just a Sith ghost. But again, him being his physical body, it doesn't make any sense. But for him to say, "I'm going to force jump into your ass as soon as you kill me" or whatever, I could have bought that a lot more. And then, since you're Force sensitive and Sith sensitive for that matter, I'm going to live longer in your body. Okay, I can buy all that. But again, there was no setup for any of that. It was just boom, and then on top of that, he had this final order thing where he had a full army. How's he paying these people? How's he feeding them? And then on top of that, he had 300, 400 Star Destroyers that were probably, $10 billion a piece if you used, real life money. Where did all this money come from? Where did all the construction come from? None of it made any sense. And then on top of that, they go on about the fact that the Star Destroyers have too many shields where they can't destroy anything, right? And then that was the other thing I didn't buy. So Lando and Chewie were out there recruiting people for 10 minutes. That's the whole end game thing. Where, they're gone for 10 minutes, and then suddenly they have 1 billion people with them. The fuck? How is that possible? You know how long it would take to get a crew together to get on a ship and have the ship ready? And if ships need fuel at that time, which, nowadays subs have nuclear engine reactors. I don't see why they need fuel, but the whole last movie was them to search for gas. So apparently all these ships need fuel. How long would it take to fuel those things? And it was like 1 billion ships. And then they had to crew them up, and it wouldn't be enough time. So yeah, I didn't buy any of that. But then on top of that, as soon as this whole regiment comes in to save them, now suddenly they can shoot the cannons without any problem. So this is where all the holes come in, where they needed one more rewrite to take care of this stuff. I mean, you can't. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars to write these things, and they can't see that there's problems. It just kills me. And then of course, why does it take one ship again to have everything get messed up? These ships can't be autonomous. I can see how they could have, a control station for droids, but they have to think about that. Where if, when control station takes down, there's no redundancy to keep anything moving. The military has tons of redundancy, but not in the Empire, apparently. That's the other thing, is that the stormtroopers, they were killing those stormtroopers so fast. It was crazy. Why do these people even wear uniforms or armor? I mean, are they made of real plastic where they have one shot and these things are dead? Even in the Mandalorian took 2 or 3 shots to his armor and he was fine. But stormtroopers, nope. They can't shoot and they get shot and they die in one shot. It would have been better if a Skywalker and a Palpatine would have fought the Emperor together. Again, why didn't they do that? Why didn't they have this pairing that they've been gearing up for this whole time together? Instead, she had to handle it completely on her own and calling on all of the different Jedi to help her. And I did like the line, "Oh, I'm all the Sith, I'm all the Jedi." But I did like that, but there was no reason just to throw Ben, and it was so cheap, too. "Oh, you're going down the pit, man, because I need to deal with her because she's the only one that can deal with me," and there was all these problems. So one of the other things that everybody's complaining about is the knife, and I completely agree. Like the Sith holocron thing, okay, but when they got there, the whole thing that comes out of the knife, and the knife is the exact thing of the Star Destroyer's our exact shape. Yeah, that was pushing it. But one more script rewrite, and we would have been fine. And apparently, she's a master boatsman as well. And I didn't really buy that she was really in any danger from all those waves and everything. It wasn't even crazy. Like if you watch some of these boat movies where they're caught in a storm, there's stuff splashing in their face. They're about going overboard. There was none of that in these shots. So I thought that scene was actually shot pretty poorly. And I didn't feel like she was in danger in the least. So anyway, my score for this film, for Rise of Skywalker, and I did kind of like the ending as well, with her burying the 2 lightsabers and having her own. And it looks like she's going to try to build the Jedi Order again. Hopefully, she was basically standing there in Luke's sunset instead of R2-D2 was BB-8. So I liked all that, and of course we're not going to see any more of that, and I think everybody's saying thank God. But that's kind of how they set it up, and maybe Finn is, her first student, whatever, and all the kids that were in that other thing. And Kerry Russell's character. I'm going to bring up Kerry Russell's character. There's so much more that could have been done with that character, and it was just a throwaway character for no reason. And I didn't even buy the fact that she changed so quickly. So she had spent years getting this coin or whatever, so she could get off the planet and go wherever she wanted to go, and she just gave it to him like nothing. I don't know. And especially when she was just holding a gun to his head, not but 5 minutes earlier. Anyway, that was kind of a wasted character as far as I was concerned. She looked kind of cool, but JJ was just trying to bring her on because he had this history with her. Anyway, my score for this, it was better than average, better than I thought it was going to be. But it's still a mediocre film, and with problems. So it's going to probably be like a 6.5, maybe a 7. I'll probably will go see it one more time to see what I missed. But so this will close up Disney's mistake, and they got schooled. Disney got schooled. So for the fact that they thought they could do whatever they wanted, and now they have it in their head that they can't. The fans hit them in their pocketbook, which is, if you're going to hit Disney, that's where you got to go. Hit them in their pocketbook. And said, hey, watch what you're doing, because we ain't going to support you no matter what the hell you do. We're not blind walking into this. And now they're being very, very careful. And I think that from this point on, we're going to see more quality stuff. So anyway, have a good holiday, and let me know what you thought of the movie, if you agree or disagree with my comments, and have a happy New Year if I don't do a review before then. All right, have a good one. Bye.